Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. Today we're going to talk about this new Ripple drop piece, insights piece that actually came out. It's actually by Ashish Burla, and it talks about the global shifts in the economy. But the meat of it, which everyone is talking about, is actually here. So these two paragraphs. So while the world changes around us, this is from Ripple Insights, Ripple is staying the course. We are continuing to focus on supporting low-value, high-frequency payments with ODL through transaction volume, though transaction volume may look different. In particular, we are reducing emphasis on large treasury payments, which are traditionally used to fund businesses and services in the absence of real-time transfers, to support individual low-value transactions, addressing the growing needs in remittances and SME payments. This may reduce overall ODL transaction volumes. I think some people are some people have taken this the wrong way. If they actually do this, ODL transactions might actually decrease. But the thing is, I don't really think they will that much because I don't actually think they actually had the large business transfers anyways. So the thing is, like, if Microsoft, let's say, is going to be transferring to, let's say, Apple, I doubt they're going to be using MoneyGram or any of these ODL corridors. They have private corridors set up for these huge, giant business transfers. So I don't really think they're losing much. Like, I think a lot of the Moon Boys are always hoping about, oh, we're going to have these billion-dollar transfers coming through ODL. I don't think that was ever really, I don't really think that was ever really a thing, or was that a real possibility? Because these big companies, they have the private back channels, and like they have like priority service from the banks, and it's very cheap for them to actually transfer money. It's not like the same fees that you or I pay because we're just little mice. The fat cats play a different game altogether. But speaking of little mice, like, you know, everyone, including us, that want to actually send money to other countries actually do have to go through someone like MoneyGram. I mean, I would probably just use PayPal or something, but a lot of people will actually use MoneyGram, and that's where all the real savings actually are. In basically person-to-person remittances and SME payments. Now, those as a whole are a lot less than the big business payments altogether, but it is still it could easily grow ODL to hundreds of millions or possibly billions of dollars a day. How much will that impact price? I'm not actually sure how much that would actually impact price. I think we're still far, far away from ODL actually impacting price, but I don't think people should be freaking out over this because these individual low-value transactions were what they were targeting in the first place anyways. If you actually look at Ripple's strategy, they've been targeting that all along. So this isn't some grand-scale big switch in strategy. It's basically they're just reinforcing what they've been saying. They probably tried to get into the treasury funding and business funding, and then they discovered that like not that many companies or not that many clients actually wanted their services, and it didn't really save much in that particular market. And they discovered that the low value transactions, which they were actually targeting in the first place, were the ones where people would actually use them and would actually save a lot of money. Some people actually think that they released this because Western Union is buying MoneyGram and they're going to cut off XRP once Western Union buys MoneyGram. But I don't actually think that's the case, because think about it. What kind of transactions does MoneyGram actually do? They're going to be doing the individual low value transactions, but they do a lot of them. Like Microsoft, when they're sending money to like Apple or Dell or something, is not going to be using MoneyGram most likely. They're going to have their own private back channels. So MoneyGram is the one that's actually sending private transactions, or I mean public transactions that are very, very low in value for remittances. That's what MoneyGram is. So I don't think this really speaks to Western Union and what they plan with MoneyGram. And remember, that rumor, that takeover is still just a rumor right now. I don't think it's actually happened right now. So until it happens, we can't just say take it to the bank. And this particular thing, like them focusing on an individual low value transactions, doesn't actually speak ill of that. In fact, it might speak better because they know that they're still going to, MoneyGram is still going to be using them in the time to come. But unless they actually have another hidden meaning behind this, I don't think ODL volumes should take that huge of a hit unless Western Union is really shutting off MoneyGram, which would actually be kind of strange to me, because if they're actually finding it to be more efficient and gaining more market, it would be kind of weird for Western Union just to shut it off because they're actually buying MoneyGram. They want to grow that business as well. So I don't think it quite speaks to that. I don't think that necessarily means MoneyGram is turning off, because MoneyGram does the low value transactions, And I don't think it means like they're actually shifting strategies because something didn't work. The large treasury stuff is probably something that they had off on the side that they hoped would work, but didn't work, but that doesn't actually bother their original plan. So I don't think this is necessarily bad. I think people should stop freaking out about it. This is just their original plan. They're just going to have to focus on the main crux of their plan instead of going to some of these auxiliary things that maybe some people were actually hoping for. So no 589, no $10,000, but $5 or $6 in the next bull run, fully possible. So that is the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.